Good day, everyone. My name is Yihan Wang. I'm presenting a lightweight open data QGIS workflow for working accessibility of heritage nodes in Dali village with Chengyu and Huang. In many traditional villages, pedestrian flow concentrated around a few heritage nodes, which includes player on path and public space. Our study develops a lightweight QGIS workflow based mainly on open data to measure work accessibility, generates across and identify like high player corridors. I will introduce the workflow and key findings in the next slides. The slides show Dali village from the aerial view and street level view. With the rural tourism and everyday mobility increasing, pedestrian flow are concentrated on narrow lanes and key heritage space, especially the Zhuang Tower and the bridge. In many traditional villages, there is limited transport data and limited access to expensive modeling tools, but the circulation still needs to improve in low cost and heritage sensitive way. So there is a clear gap for a simple, open data and reproducible workflow to access pedestrian accessibility in this type of city. And this is exactly what our study provides. This slide summarizes the specific objective of the study. First, we quantify work accessibility to key heritage nodes in Dali village, such as Zhuang Tower, bridges, and main entries. Second, we used this result to identify high player corridor where workflow concentrates, as well as underserved nodes that are poor connected. Third, we aim to deliver a developable open data workflow in QGIS so that the simple approach can replicate and compare across other traditional villages. The central map shows the village unique morphologies, a linear settlement stretching along the valley. The orange triangles represent the core heritage nodes we digitize, specifically the vernacular Zhuang Tower and the bridges, which you can see in the photo on the right. It is important to note that entire base map and the spatial data we derived from Tiandi to open source satellites imagery ensure a truly lightweight and low-cost approach. Moving on to the methodology, I developed a lightweight 6-step workflow in QGIS that we can replicate in data scale rural context. First, I prepared the basis data using Tiandi to imagery and OpenStreetMap. Because small village alleys are often missing, I manually digitize the internal pedestrian lines and clear the typology to build a routable work network. Next, I generate work isochrone at 2 minutes intervals to map the served areas of key heritage nodes. I also run a grid basis or orange dentist analyze to estimate shorter working time paths for across the village to these nodes. Finally, by overlaying these outputs, I identify key player corridor and underserved heritage nodes, which provide practical evidence for heritage-sensitive calculation planning. This slide summarizes the data source used to build the pedestrian network and heritage nodes layer. First, 10D2 slide imagery served as the high-resolution-based map. It's allowed us to verify the village structure and view trends, internal paths that are not captured in the standard dataset. Second, OpenStreetMap provides the boundary access road and basic spatial referencing for the surrounding area. Third, to bridge the data gap, we conducted the manual digitization in QGIS, tracing the 5 grand alleyway and internal pedestrian collection that are often missing from OSM. Finally, we digitized the key heritage points of interest, including Drum Tower, multiple flower bridge, and the main village entries. On the map, you can see how this layer come together: the access routes, the complete work network, and the mapped heritage nodes within this study boundary. With the network constants, we define the resolution parameters. As shown in the table on the left, we can intentionally set the work speed to 0.4 meter per second. Unlikely standard computing study used 1.2 meter per second. Our specific focus on the heritage tourism and aging demographic required a slower, more inclusive pace to reflect reality. On the right, you can see our panel we applied the QGIS network analyze toolbox in QGIS to calculate faster path. This allowed the generation perceive the setting based on the time cost rather than just the physical distance, ensuring a more accurate measurement of accessibility. Moving on to the result. The map on the left visualization work time accessibility from the mapped heritage nodes. In general, corner indicates area that are more easily reached, while corner corners represent more time consumption. Periphery area. To quantify this pattern, we calculated the carriage statistic shown in table. As you can see, about 14% of study area fall within the core service room, which is 0 to 5 minutes. In total, nearly 75% is reachable within 10 minutes work. Combine the 0 to 5 and 5 to 10 minutes room. This indicates that the key heritage nodes are relatively well positioned for work-based movement in village. Completely the accessibility analysis, we can examine the village, the spatial structure, the light dentist height map visualization, the movement sequencing of the settlement by heighting corridor segments that appear most frequently in entries to load route. The warm corner core indicates where movement is the most likely to concentrate. Importantly, this core close aligns with the Drum Tower area, which functions as the social and cultural central of the village. Overall, the pattern suggests the strong spatial logic in Dali village. Key heritage spaces are located within the most collected and most travel-thirst part of the network, which help explain the both accessible advantage and potential congestion player. In conclusion, this study offered two key contributions. First, the methodology way demonstrates that lightweight QGIS workflow based on the public available 22 imagery with the target value digitalization can produce the several digital evidence for the village scale working accessibility analysis. Second, for the Dali case, the result indicates strong spatial logic in the traditional settlement planning. Key heritage space, especially around the Zhuang Tower area, and are closely embedded within the most collection pedestrian corridors. Finally, I would like to note two limitations and future direction. First, the current simulation used the two-dimension plane network. In the mountainous village like Dali, need to use the digital evaluation models to incorporate slope justify working cost. Second, we use the statist work speed of the 0.4 meter per second as the conservation. Future study can apply the dynamic multiple agent simulation and group specific speed to compare different user groups. Despite this limitation, this workflow provides the rapid, low-cost, accessible assessment to support heritage-sensitive calculation planning. Thank you for your attention. This concludes my present. Thank you.